Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. If you are a returning subscriber, thank you so much for subscribing. And in case you have landed up here for the first time, may I request you to subscribe, and I assure you, you will not be disappointed. I'm also available on Instagram, on Facebook, on Twitter, on LinkedIn, and when you will see in the description box, you will find the links. So may I request you to please follow me there so that if I make any announcements, if I recite a story, or if I'm talking about any pageant, you would be up to date with it. Now with the formalities over, let me come to the topic today. I always begin by saying that I have received so many messages, So yes, I'll begin once again that I have received a lot of messages. One which says, "K, I make very long videos, please cut it short, make it smaller." One. Two, most of you wanted to know about my journey in life. So I thought I will tackle these two today. First and foremost, if you really want to understand about life, if you really want to understand about something, you need to go in depth about it. You cannot just talk superficial about it. So if I make very short videos, I'll just be giving you bullet points. Then again, I'll be flooded with messages of, I want to know this, I want to know that. So that's the reason I consciously go very deep into each point and discuss it, specifically when I make life skills video. Because in universities, in college, they teach you everything, but nobody teaches you about life. It's only when you face it, you realize that in life, the tests come first and the learnings come later. So if somebody is sharing from their life experience, I think one thing you must have is patience. In 24 hours, if you cannot even spare about 10 minutes or 15 minutes to listen to something important about life, then I wonder how you are doing your life management or your time management. A lot of people say they don't have time for this, don't have time for that. And to them, I just give one simple mantra. If you feel that you don't have time to do things, simple, get up half an hour early and sleep half an hour late. And you have exactly 1 hour to yourself. And you can devote that 1 hour on your own self as your me time. So maybe you can pick up my video in that 1 hour. Though I don't make 1 hour videos, max it could go to about 20 minutes or 25 minutes. So do spare to learn about life. And I tell you, whatever pearls I share with you about life are the experiences of my life from where I have learned. And I'm sharing another pearl with you today when I am going to share about my own life. So a lot of people have asked me, tell me something about your own life. So, okay, I will go right from my childhood and I'll bring you to where I am today. Well, I was born and brought up it was a small town in those days. Now it's become very popular and it's become big and commercial. But I was born in a small town called Shimla, which is in Himachal Pradesh. Now it's no more a town, it's become a metropolitan city, big thing. But in those days, it was a small town. And I'm talking about late 50s. So you can imagine what my age would be. So I was born in Shimla and I lost my mother at a very, very young age. I was not even 10 years old when I lost her. And somehow I had to grow overnight and actually take charge of my own self. Because my brothers were much, much elder to me, 15 years and 16 years elder to me. And they were studying outside Shimla. They were in a hostel and I was left alone with my dad. And my dad was working most of the time, so he couldn't give me too much of a time. So I had to learn to love myself. I had to learn to spend time with my own self. And I think directly or indirectly, it turned out to be a blessing, because I used to spend my time either learning to sing if I had spare time, or I would just read a lot. I'm an avid reader. As you can see behind my back, you would see a whole library, and I have 5,000 books with me at the moment. So I have been an avid reader right from my childhood. But what happened was that when I was in class 4, I used to be standing first in the line, in the assembly line, and I loved it. At that age, you don't understand why you are standing first in the line, and all the time I thought that I'm made to stand first in the line because I'm cute. It was only later I realized why I was standing first in the line, because I was the shortest. And even if we were performing on stage or something, I was always pushed to go and stand in front because I'm the shortest. But I always thought it's because they think that I'm a show stealer, and they show stopper or whatever you call it, and then I have to be right in the front for them to be to decorate the stage. I never actually ever thought why I'm always pushed to stand first. It was later when in class 5 people started calling me Thengu. In class 6 they started calling me Bonnie. And by the time I was in class 7, I was little plump. People started calling me Mini Road Roller. So somewhere I lost my identity. No one used to call me by my name. People used to call her a road roller. Nahi aayi kya? Where is she? Where is the road roller? So, and it used to hurt me. People used to laugh while calling me with that name, but it used to hurt me. Why? And I used to stand in front of, in my temple in the house, and I used to ask God, why am I so short? Why am I so short? Why am I so short? My brothers were quite tall, but I was short. God knows why. Maybe there is a lesson I was born to learn through my height, and I think yes, now I believe I am short because I had to learn a lesson and I had to teach a lesson to people. But in those days, when I was a kid, I did not understand why I was short. And girls, when they become teenagers and when they become young adults, they start whispering to each other about having boyfriends and this and that. But all these girls, they never used to include me in any conversation because they thought I wasn't worth it. And another thing was that because by calling me all those names, I was always trying to please them. So because I wanted to be liked, I wanted to be accepted. So they used to load me with a lot of work, and I never ever said no. Even though I would suffer, but I'll never say no. And I'll keep doing things for them, this, that, become a proxy to them at a lot of places. But I'll never say no because I wanted to be accepted. I wanted to be a part of group. But there was a time when in school we had an annual function, and they were auditioning for the leading lady of that play. And because I loved to be on stage, I went for the audition. And my teacher, she looked at me and she said, "What are you doing here?" And I said, "I'm here for the audition." She laughed at me in front of everyone and said, "Look at this do futiya, she wants to become a leading lady." And everybody laughed. And when I argued, "Ma'am, at least I'm good in acting, at least check me out, I can wear heels, blah, 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 blah," she slapped me in front of everyone. And by slapping me, she actually put me in a prison. I just entered, I got arrested in my self-created prison. She locked me in. I stopped interacting with people. I didn't want to go to school. I didn't want to talk to my friends. I went into seclusion. I went into my own self. And every time I used to think, that my birth is useless. I am a big black spot on my parents and all kinds of negative things. And in the bargain, I became sick. I went into severe depression, and I even attempted to end my life. But you know what? When you are deep down in your life, God always sends a messenger. Sometimes we don't recognize those messengers. We are not mentally prepared to receive their message. But if the messenger is right and they arrive in your life at the right place at the right time, you do understand the message. And here was this one teacher who slapped me, and here comes another teacher of mine who loved me because I used to sing well. And she missed me. Where is she? Where is she? And my friends told her because of this reason she's not coming. So she decided to come home to see me. And when she came to see me, she did a little bit of a small talk. And then when I told her exactly what happened with me, and that I don't want to live, and I'm this and I'm that, and nobody loves me, and blah, blah, blah. You know what? She took out a 100-rupee note, a brand new note. That was the first lesson, and I think that story has become very common now, but at that time I had never heard it. She took out a 100-rupee note from her purse and showed it to me, and she says, if I go to the market with this 100-rupee note, what will I get? How much change will I get? I said, 100 rupee. She crushed that note. How much change will I get? I said, 100 rupee. She, dirtied it a little and said, how much money will I get, change will I get for this 100-rupee note? I said, 100 rupees, 100 rupee ka change. She said, see, I crushed this, I dirtied this 100-rupee note, a brand new note, but still it didn't lose its value. Similarly, society will crush you. Society will call names, will throw you down, will dirty you out. But does that make you lose your value? She says, no. Every person has a value. And she said, the first thing in life you have to do is to value yourself. And that can only come when you start loving yourself. Accept yourself as you are. There may be a reason you are the way you are. And she made me understand that my height was a small little piece of my personality. There were much, much bigger things in my personality. And she made me sit down and write them out. And when they came out on the paper, I realized, oh my God, I have so much inside me. And that was the turning point of my life. She actually handed me the key to that prison lock and unlocked me. And at that moment I decided, I will never be a teacher who would put you down. I'll always be somebody who will hold your hand, just like the other teacher, and bring you out from the darkness to the brightness. And that is what I'm doing. But how did I get there? So, once she made me realize that my height was a little minuscule part of my personality, I understood that I have many, many good things in me, and I changed my focus from the negative. I stopped looking at the negative and I start looking at the positives. And when you start feeling confident, when you start feeling positive, when that light starts shining from inside, it reflects outside. People see and people start getting attracted towards you. There was a time when I was repelling people away, and this was the time when I started attracting people. I started singing, I started painting, I started doing all the things I was good at. And people started appreciating. And in those days I saw a movie called Upkar. If you ever get a chance, it's an old classic movie called Upkar. The hero is Manoj Kumar and I think Asha Parekh. So I saw that movie in which they showed Manoj Kumar as a soldier, and he was injured and he went to an army hospital for his treatment. So somehow when I saw those tents, the army hospital tents, there was a calling inside me. I wanted to be in that tent to serve the soldiers. And I was thinking, how do I do it? How do I do it? And one fine day when I was walking on the road, I came across this newspaper called Employment News, which had this headlines, wanted women in the army as commissioned officers. And I got very attracted and very excited. I was scared also, so I picked up that paper and, with a lot of, thing in my heart, phobia in my heart, I read the whole ad. There was no mention of height. It was a competitive exam. And I really prepared myself well for that exam, sat through that exam, cleared the board interview, medicals and blah blah blah, and actually joined Indian Army. And I came out to be the first lady army officer from Himachal Pradesh in the MNS Corps. And when I wore my uniform and walked around, the same people who used to laugh at me actually started saluting me. I didn't add height under my feet. I added the height above my head. And I had always been telling this in my previous videos also. It does not matter what's between your head and your feet. What matters is what is between your head and your chin and how you use it. And we all have it. And when as a child I told you that I was very glamour struck, I wanted to be Miss India, I wanted to be a model, I wanted to be an actress. Fine, I couldn't be one, but I'm creating them now. I'm training models, I'm training actors, I'm training Miss India. So I'm on a much higher pedestal than being there. So God never lets your dreams die. Those dreams are always there. Only thing He wants you to identify. He doesn't want you to give up. And through this story, I have a couple of messages to tell you. One, this is for all of you who have been writing to me, I have crooked teeth, I'm short at height, my hair is thin, blah, 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 blah. I want to tell you, it does not matter how you look like, whether you are tall, whether you're short, whether you're fat, you are thin, you are this dark, you are... life comes in all shapes and sizes, and that's what makes life beautiful. It does not matter how you look like. What matters is what fuel do you have inside you. If you have negativity inside you, you will always be negative. If you're positive inside you, you'll always be positive. Just like a car, a petrol car, if you just put diesel into it, it is not going to run. Similarly, if you keep putting negative, if you keep listening to people like those mini road rollers and stuff, now they have renamed me as a queen maker, and I'm very thrilled about it. So what I'm trying to tell you is that don't have to bother what people say. You just have to believe in yourself, sit down with a paper and pen and actually identify what good you have, and you will see that you have so many good things, and if you look at the negatives or weaknesses, they'll just be one or two. Just keep them aside. Turn that mirror towards your plus points and you will actually flourish. So my first lesson to you is, it does not matter how you look like. Whatever you want, you can achieve in your life. The second important point which I want to tell you is that always be, when somebody comes to you, always encourage people. Don't ever discourage people. And if you are ever wanting to become a teacher, never be like the one who slapped me. Be like the one who got me out of that darkness. 3, it's most important to remember, never let your dreams die. Those dreams will definitely turn to reality if you don't give up. 4, like I got into the army, but none of my friends or none of my girls from Himachal got into the Indian Army, and that too in MNS Corps at that, in those days. Now there are plenty in those days. So it was an unwalked path. So I did not walk behind the footprints of someone else. I created my own path and others followed it. So never be scared of walking on the path which is never walked on before. So these are life lessons I have learned. I have learned that I was created short. I was created like this because I think the purpose was to inspire people like you. The purpose was to tell people that anything you want, you can achieve in your life. It is all inside you. Man ke hare haar hai, man ke jeete jeet. And I would end this with a beautiful शेर I had read somewhere कि वक्त बार बार मिलता है जिंदगी बदलने के लिए. वक्त बार बार मिलता है जिंदगी बदलने के लिए, लेकिन ये जिंदगी बार बार नहीं मिलती वक्त बदलने के लिए. वक्त वक्त की बात है कि वक्त नहीं बदलता, वरना वक्त के बदलने में वक्त ही कितना लगता है. So all the best to you who have sat through this. I hope you have carried some pearls with you to grow in your life and find your dreams. Till I meet again, God bless you all.